Hello, I'm Laura Boyd and welcome to another episode of Beatson Talks, where today I am delighted to be joined by Scottish rising pop star, our very own pop princess, Roisin McCarney. Roisin, we finally meet in person.
I know, it's so nice to meet you. How are you?
I am very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I am good.
I feel like I know you because I see so much of you on social media.
I'm an absolute pest on that thing, honestly, that's it.
You're not, you're so good. You're so good. And by default, I know your mum as well because I bumped into her in a nail bar of all places and she was telling me all about you and I thought you sounded like a star. And you're incredible. But to kick things off, tell us a little bit about yourself then.
So my name is Roisin McCarney. I feel like I can't really beat that intro that you've just given me because that is absolutely brilliant. Roisin McCarney, I am from Glasgow, obviously. And I've been doing music now for 4 years. What is it? 2024? Yeah, 4 years.
2024.
Should know that. Should have prepped for 4 years now. And I've just been on an absolute journey with that, with my health and with doing music and working in a cafe and stuff as well. All living that life.
Well, we'll get on to the music. You are a brilliant singer. But first of all, this is obviously the Beatson podcast. So are you okay to tell us a little bit about your health and what kind of happened to you a few years ago?
So 4 years ago, August 2020, I found a mole on my lower back, and I actually only found the mole because I got these new pair of jeans, they were dead light and they were lovely, and my boyfriend at the time was like, "You have blood all over the back of your jeans." And I was like, "That's absolutely disgusting. Who's bleeding on me like randomly?" And then we realised that I had this really aggressive, angry mole, and then eventually got it checked out in the November, and I was diagnosed with stage 3B skin cancer in December 2020. So following that, I went in for surgery in the January to remove a bigger patch of skin around where the mole had been, just to make sure that there was no places it could have grown. And then we also, during that surgery, they realised that it had also spread down to the right-hand side of my groin. So following that, I was then on immunotherapy from March 2021 to March 2022, and it was tablets. So I was lucky in the sense that I was able to take it from home twice a day, but I was really, really sick on them. It took about 6 months for them to get the right dosage of it because it was just so strong when they give the same dosage to everybody. And I've always thought, well, if a big tall person's I'm only 5'4", is getting the same amount of me, no wonder it's wiping me out. So 6 months in, we finally got the right dosage, and I started working again, just in a cafe, just part-time, just because you know what it's like when you stop working. I'm a workaholic as well, so I really relied on that, and it just gives you that normality back, I think, too. So March 2022, got the all clear, finished, and then this year again, in May 2024, I found a lump on the right-hand side of my groin, and we discovered that it was my melanoma that had came back again stage 3B, the same stage. So we had to go in for surgery June, and they removed all the lymph nodes in the right-hand side of my leg. And now I'm still going through treatment, which I started 12 weeks ago. So I've had 2 rounds and I've got 7 rounds to go. But this time, it seems to not be making me as sick as last time, which I'm very, very, very grateful for. And that's kind of a brief summary.
Oh, Roisin, that's a lot to unpack. My goodness. And for someone so young as well, it's a lot to take on.
So I was only 24 when I was diagnosed with melanoma as well, which is young for someone with skin cancer. Usually people, not stereotype, but it is usually older people that have lived in the sun for years and all that. But 24 was when I was diagnosed.
Were you a sun worshipper?
Yeah. So I went to uni, and during uni you need a part-time job. So I worked in the sunbeds. And when I worked for the sunbeds, they gave you 60 minutes free a month. So I only used them probably for about 3 or 4 years, and I only did 1 holiday a year, but that was kind of enough to tip the scale, I guess. And I think it's one of those things, it's just your genetics really, isn't it? If you've got the gene or if you don't, but you never know if you have the gene until you get it. Happens, it's like any type of cancer, I guess, in that sense, isn't it? You don't know until you've got it, that's the gene.
And I think there's so much pressure on, I'm sitting here coated in fake tan. There's so much pressure nowadays on having a tan. And thank goodness we do have ways of faking it.
Yes, 100%.
All the better. But I remember when I was younger using sunbeds because it felt like, especially before you go on holiday and when you come back, you want to top up that tan. You want to be...
Yeah, and I was always told that, you won't burn on holiday if you go for the sunbeds before you go. So it was, and especially when you work in the industry, like it's always going to promote it, and they're giving it for free. So when you're 18, you're not going to pass up anything that's for free and you're like, I look great. Everyone's telling me I'm glowing because I've got this tan. So you just kind of get addicted. You get addicted to looking tan, I guess, don't you, as well? And, 28 years old now, but I'm only starting to appreciate my pale skin. It's taken a long time. And even I still wear fake tan, but the Mondays and Tuesdays when it's coming off, I'm like, it's okay. I don't need to tan today.
You look beautiful as you are. But I know what it's like. It's all very well saying that, but you feel better with it. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till 100%.
Is the way we've got to go. And you're very good at campaigning on that, which we'll come to as well. But take me back to when they told you it was cancer. What was that moment like?
Can only kind of describe it as everything goes silent in a way. So I was, when I went to actually go get the mole checked, I was by myself and I'd lost my job from COVID, so I was working in a call centre at the time. And I was like, I'll be back. I just need to nip to the doctors and I'll be back. So I went to go get it checked at the dermatology in Stop Hill. And the doctor looked at it and she went, would you just sit down there for a minute? And I said, yeah. And she said there and then, she said, look, I need to tell you, I'm 99% sure that this is cancer or melanoma, she said. So we're going to have to remove this here right now. So again, 24 years old and I'm just sitting there like, what? Yeah. Like kind of mind going blank. That's doing her job because she had to kind of make you prepared for what was going on and why they had to remove it there and then that day. So then they took me away to another room and she kept kind of repeating it a few times because I think I did just go quiet. I didn't react. It's
so hard to take it in.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You're just kind of going, you just don't believe it, I suppose, at the start. And then took me to another room to wait to remove it. And I rang my boyfriend at the time and I just bawled my eyes out. And then, I've obviously rang my work that day and was like, I can't come in. And I just went straight to my mum's and just cried. And then she was like, don't cry until we know what's going on. And I was like, no, they basically told, they wouldn't have said that if they weren't for sure. And then when we got officially diagnosed, my mum came with me, which was, I guess, the diagnosis wasn't as bad because I'd already prepared myself for that time. But it's just terrifying. And I think when anyone hears the word cancer, it sounds, as humans, we go to the worst stage. So you automatically kind of write yourself off and you're thinking, am I going to die? Is this, how am I going to face this? What do I do with all this stuff? And you're just thinking, it's horrible.
It's a lot. Yeah. Isn't it? It's like, I remember that I've spoken about this in the podcast before. It felt like everything went into slow motion. I was just like, like an outer body experience. You just think, am I going to be here next week? Or, you immediately think the worst, as you say. We know you've got a brilliant Irish mama. I'm sure she was very, very good, a great help. But how have you coped with it all?
The first time, I almost think I always say I handled it well, but I feel actually I might have blocked that out almost at this point, because now when I look back, I'm like, I don't actually remember some of it, and it's probably just our brain's way of dealing with
Protecting
it. Whereas this time, to be honest, I really, really struggled. When I found the lump, I feel like you kind of have a gut sense, and I instantly knew what it was. And I actually I found the lump on the Friday, and I had my best friend's hen weekend away on the Saturday, and I just kept quiet for that weekend, but it was constantly there. And then when I went to get it checked and they said, it could be back, I don't know how to describe it. I really, really struggled. I've never probably cried as much because, again, you write yourself off. And I think the second time it comes back as well, you're thinking, well, if it comes back a second time, how long am I going to last this time? Or is it, you just you can automatically go to the worst stage. And I was trying to exercise. I went to the gym and I just started crying in the gym. And I thought, right, we're not going back to the gym. You can't do that right now. And again, it was once I finally got the diagnosis of that it was cancer, it almost felt like a relief because it's the waiting around. Sometimes
it's horrible.
It's the worst bit.
I think when they say to you, they start to tell you about your treatment plan and everything, then you know things are moving. Yeah,
you're like, okay, there's a plan, and that's the one thing I've always said to my mum whenever we've came out of an appointment. Like she's been like, "How are you?" And I said, "There's a plan." I was like, until the day they tell me that they can't do anything, that's the day I can let myself go fully, but until then I need to keep fighting and be fine and be okay, because they've got a plan. So I can follow the plan. If they've got a plan, I can follow the plan.
And you've been very open about it.
Yeah.
You've got a great social media platform. You're so inspiring for others. Have you had people get in touch?
Yeah, I have.
That are going through it?
Yeah, not many people going through it, but a lot of people that have even just been affected by cancer, they've had friends and family affected by cancer have reached out to me, and everybody says, you're so positive. But I do tell them, I'm like, I am positive. I was like, but I'm only showing you on social media. Yeah, you're only seeing this proportion of it. And I suppose I'm deliberately doing that because it's kind of the same with my music. Like my music's like my escape, and so I like to have fun and be enjoyable. And I feel like my social media is a little bit like that as well. So it's a little bit have fun, and it's people can have a laugh on it, and that's my let go and my escape in that sense too. And people have reached out just to me and basically just thanking me for raising awareness as well from it, because I've had a lot of people saying that they're not going back to sunbeds, and I'm like, that's genuinely the only reason why I share it is to try and stop people from endangering themselves so bad.
Has that been really important to you?
Yeah, massively. Yeah. And it's one of those things, whenever you go to do a sunbed, you always have to sign the disclosure that says...
And you think nothing of it.
Well, that's it. I remember signing it and thinking, maybe when I'm old, and you don't, when you're 18, you're thinking, well, that's so far away, so it doesn't matter. So now it's like, as long as I can stop one person going on a sunbed, then that's me done my job, because they're just so dangerous. They're banned in Australia.
Yeah, I know. And you don't think of it.
No.
You just think the odd one will be fine, don't you?
Well, that's it. Exactly. Exactly.
Goodness. The music.
Yes.
Has that been your escape? Has that helped you get through this?
I honestly don't know what I would be or who I would be without music at this point. Like, music saved me the last time and it's saving me again this time. I used to always be very bad as well about talking about my feelings. I'm learning it in therapy. We're getting better.
You're very good. You're doing very well today. Thank you.
We're getting better. But for me, like, writing was my escape, and I suppose it was kind of how I was understanding how I was feeling without... Not that you're ever a burden to anybody, but I think when it's things this big, you can sometimes feel like a burden to people. You don't want to
upset them.
Well, that's it.
Don't you know? You feel friends and family, you think you almost want to go, I'm fine.
And that's always the answer. My mum, I came at an appointment the other day and she said, I gave her that smile. She went, you don't need to put on that fake smile for me, And I was like, I know, but it's for me this time. Yeah. But no, honestly, music's just, I don't know what I would... It's even listening to other people's music as well. It's, if I'm sad, I put on like some Charlie XCX and I dance around my bedroom and I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I feel happy now. I've had a dance and I'm okay now.
Sometimes I think with music as well and TV, it gives you a sense of normality, because when everything feels like your world's crumbling and music's carrying on, TV's carrying on, do you know what I mean by that?
Well, 100%. It's like the world still goes on, even though you're still like nothing. Yeah. You kind of feel a bit stuck. The world's still going on. Yeah, 100% agree with that. It's just
music's so powerful.
Yeah,
for that, and you're doing brilliantly.
Thank you.
Because not only playing gigs all over the place, taking social media by storm, but The Voice.
Yes.
So, I mean, throw that into the mix.
I know.
Starring on a major TV show.
Yes.
Impressing the McFly boys. I mean, incredible.
Crazy.
What was that experience like?
It was, like everybody on the show is absolutely lovely. They're so, so nice. I think for me, obviously, everybody on The Voice and on these shows always usually has a bit of a backstory and they want to talk about the cancer. And I'm so open. If somebody wants to talk to me about it, answer it straight away. But when I got on the stage after the audition, I was just been like, I don't want that to be the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
So I think I froze up after it. So I've kind of blanked about what I said. It's not until I see it on telly, I'm like, is that what I said?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity. It was absolutely amazing. And yeah, McFly, they're so nice.
They are so nice.
So nice. Like,
they are one of my favourite interviews I've ever done.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. They were so lovely.
Just so nice.
Yeah, I took my wee cousin along with me years ago to the interview, and we were going to the gig afterwards.
Yes.
She was really young. She wasn't really meant to be in the room, but we kind of sneaked her in.
Yeah.
She was standing at the side. Well, after it, they spotted her and they couldn't have been nicer. And they came over and signed her T-shirt and got pictures with her. And they didn't need to do that.
Yes.
And it always stuck with me as like they went above and beyond.
It's just nice to be nice.
Yeah.
I think it's when you see like these pop stars, you're like, oh, you're just so nice and normal. That's nice.
Like you.
That's exactly. Pop stars are nice folks.
How do you feel, Roisin? Because say you sit in front of me just now, you look absolutely gorgeous. You look, nobody would know there's something wrong with you. I sometimes find that weird when people say that to me. They're like, you don't look ill. And I'm like, well, I am.
Definitely am.
There's a kind of weird thing, isn't there? Because it's so good. And for me, I've spoken about this before as well. Like, I remember my mum saying, put on your makeup, get out there,
yes,
and you'll feel better. And I did.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid, but it really did. Like, that kind of sense of normality and looking well really helped me.
100%. My mum actually describes, she's like, it's like war paint.
It is.
She's
like
you put it on and you're ready to go and tackle the world again. And I just said, like, it's so nice when people are like, you just look great. And you're like, well, thanks. But then sometimes with that, I think also comes the battle that sometimes almost I forget I'm sick.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a lovely complaint to have because you don't want to always be reminded of it, you know? So it's nice to be able to forget. But sometimes I can be out and I'm like partying and I'm like, Roisin, you can't be out for 6 hours like just dancing all night. That's far too much for you. I had a weekend there, I was at weddings and everything, and I thought, I need to go home. Like, I was home by 9 o'clock eating toast, and I was absolutely delighted. And I thought, if there's ever an excuse that I can go home, I can use it now.
You could use that card.
Exactly. But it is not. I feel it's so important to look good and feel good. One of the first questions I asked both times I was diagnosed with the treatment was, am I going to lose my hair? And it might sound quite vain, but I feel like it's, if you look sick, you feel sicker, and it's just such a strong mindset to have. It's just to be like, right, you're fine. If you don't look sick, you're fine.
Yeah. And I was the same, but thankfully the Beatson have some amazing places, and they've got, kind of wig specialists. And I remember going to a class and there was women with beautiful headscarves and lovely earrings and stuff. And you're like, thank goodness there's so many ways now you can make yourself feel
that's
better.
It, yeah. And it's not that hair makes you beautiful. You're beautiful without hair as well. It's just...
But everything's changing, and it's another thing to lose, isn't it?
Everything is changing. Your body's already taken a beating in sense, isn't it? So it's just having that other thing. But some of the wigs are absolutely beautiful. And they've all got their own names.
Have they?
Yeah, a lot of the wigs have like their own names now, and I'm like, it's just, it's lovely. It's nice in that sense.
It's time to experiment, I think, when you get to that stage.
Definitely.
I would go mad,
I'd be going wild. I would be.
And how is treatment just now then? So are you back on the tablets? Or?
No, so this time they've changed it to, I'm going to get the name wrong, Pemilaz, that's not
something like that.
Something like that. So I basically go to the Beatson every 6 weeks, and I get it injected through. This is so not clinical terms. Through the bag,
that's what we need.
But through the bag and through the drip it goes. So I get that, and it takes about an hour and a half once every 6 weeks, and I feel I've only had 2 rounds of it so far. They did say obviously it gets harder the more you do it, because it's just kind of topping up your body. But so far I've been really, really lucky. I've still been managing to go out my walks and everything. But the week I do get my treatment, I just make sure I've got nothing on that week, because the only way I can describe it is you just feel quite flat after it. Like you're tired, and you've just not really got like just no spark, you know. You're just kind of like you just feel flat.
and that same note of getting dressed up and going out there, you need to listen to your body as well.
Well, that's it.
And allow yourself those duvet days, and just...
Yes.
That is... Because I was really bad for that.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh no, I'll be fine. I'm still doing it, pushing myself.
Yes.
But actually, you need to think sometimes, no, you need to just take time out.
I've always been like that as well. And it's, my mum's will always say that like the world gives you some strange things to really learn to listen to your body. Because I would be the same, always like pushing myself to go out or go up and get a run. And it's like, you don't need to run today. If you're running at all, it's fine. You know,
you're awake and you're watching TV. That's
exactly.
Good,
it's just as important as the healthy, the self-help.
Self-care.
Self-care days.
Self-care days.
Exactly.
How has the Beatson been for you?
The Beatson are great. The Beatson are so lovely. Everybody there. I have the same team as well as I did last time, which sounds weird to say, but it's quite nice in that sense.
Because they know you.
Well, that's it, you know, and whenever I've had phone calls, they've been like, we're so sorry to have you back, but it's nice to hear you're doing well and all that, which is really nice. But the Beatson have been absolutely great. Everybody at the Beatson, you know, there's always a smile there, isn't there? And it's...
Well, that's the thing. And I think I was diagnosed in my 20s as well.
Yeah.
And I think for that age group, it's quite strange because you're not a teenager, so you're not kind of in the Teenage Cancer Trust, that kind of fold. A lot of people that you see at the Beatson and, you know, are older as well. So you're in this kind of weird, like, what do I fall under?
Yeah.
But actually, at the Beatson, people are so lovely. And the conversations you have, like, you know, in that waiting room where you're waiting to get your blood taken.
Yeah.
And people are so nice.
You just chat away to everybody. Yeah, I was talking to a guy when I was getting my treatment last time. He was telling me how he'd just been back from travelling. He was telling me where to get my travel insurance while I'm on my treatment. I was telling him all about my singing. He was going to follow me. Like, it's just, and it's
a wee community.
It is, you know, and it's kind of nice because everyone's going through the same thing. So, and we were asking each other questions about our cancer and where he had his skin cancer and everything. And it was nice and I kind of really...
In a weird way.
Yeah, and I kind of sad and lovely and a sad. Yeah. It's seeing the nice bits through the sadness, I think.
That's completely... It's a community nobody wants to be a part of.
Yeah.
But actually, if you are going to have to be a part of, then I feel the Beatson community is a really good place to be. And as someone in your 20s...
Yeah.
It's a great place for feeling safe as well, isn't it? Because I think, again, if you're from Scotland, you know the Beatson, and the thought that you've got to go there, I was terrified.
Yeah.
I don't want to be going to a cancer hospital. Why am I going there?
Well, that's it, yeah.
But actually, it's quite a comforting place as well. You do feel safe.
100%. It doesn't, obviously it's a hospital, but it's not got the same feel as like even I'm at the Royal and all that all the time, which are hospitals. Yeah. It has a different feel to it. And then even when you're getting your treatment and you've got the Beatson, they're coming and you get a wee tea and a biscuit, and it's just
love the biscuits.
Well, that's it, you know, it's a wee treat. It's everyone's so nice. I can't thank them enough as well, you know, for all the work they do. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for all them. So can never thank them enough.
They are incredible. How has it changed your outlook on life?
Very much so. It's changed my outlook for the better, to be honest, which I've always said all my life, things happen for reasons. So the first time it happened, I took it as a sign that it was to really focus on my music. It gave me a year off to practice my craft, to get great at what I wanted to do. And because when else were you're never going to take a year off work, you know, to actually do things. So that was the first time. And this time I was really, as I was saying, I was really, really struggling. And the thing that just flipped in my mindset was that if, God forbid, I don't have that many days left, then I'm not going to be sad. I'm not going to die being sad. So now every day I wake up and I say every day, honestly, I will open up my eyes and I say, thank you so much just for another day. Thank you so much. And I'm going out a walk, and honestly, it's mad hippie stuff, but I'm going out a walk and I'm like, thank you for the sky, thank you for the birds. And it's so simple, but I'm just, it's just allowing myself to be sad when you're sad, because you need to allow those feelings to be in. But it's honestly just been like, well, you know, nobody ever knows how much time you've got on this planet. And that's even if you're fully healthy. So just enjoy every moment as much as you can and just start saying no to the things you don't want to do, but yes to the things that you just want to do.
That's an important thing, isn't it?
You know?
Yeah. And it's learning that, just go for it.
Yep.
But also be like, I don't need to do everything now. Just
definitely
enjoy your life.
That's what it's been this, because before I got diagnosed, I was burning myself out. I was working 2 jobs and just getting up at 4:30 in the morning to do things and not sleeping. I just thought, I'm not going back to doing that. Like, life's too short, and I wasn't seeing my pals and I wasn't going out and socialising, because obviously music takes over your life, which I'm grateful for, but it's so important to get that time with your loved ones, and as I said, you don't know how long you've got with it. So that's been the massive thing that's changed this time, is just been feeling very lucky and very grateful. And I do feel a shift in my energy since that's happened. Definitely.
You're so good for sharing that, and I think that's completely right. You do. It's almost like you're like, I'm here. Even like you're touching me, like, oh my God, I'm actually still here, and you do appreciate it
100%
so much more. For anyone who's still using sunbeds or unaware of the skin cancer and things, first of all, they should check out your social channels. Where can they do that?
At Roisin McCarney. I think that's it on all of them.
Just search Roisin McCarney.
Yeah, Roisin McCarney. It'll all pop up.
Because you share a lot on there, and it's really informative and really inspirational as well. But for anyone who maybe has got a mole they're not sure about, or a lump, I mean, this could not necessarily with skin cancer. This is anything, isn't it? If you're not feeling right, go get checked.
Get it checked out. I actually do get some people that message me pictures of their moles. I do. And I'm always like, look, thanks so much for sending me this, but I don't know the difference in moles. And then I've got a wee booklet that the Macmillan gave me, and it's to check the moles. So I'm sitting there like comparing the mole to the booklet, and I'm like, I can't actually tell. But anyone that's got anything that you're just even a little bit worried about, go get it checked. Because the thing is as well, we know what it's like waiting for results. When you know you've got something on you, you're just thinking about it. So just get it checked, and then you can either write it off or deal with it. Whatever it'll be. Yeah.
It's better to deal with it than just to leave it.
Exactly.
Roisin, finally, what's your hope for the future?
My hope for the future is, fun to finish this treatment and be healthy. I really pray that this will be the last time I face melanoma, now that we've got rid of the lymph nodes in my right leg. Fingers crossed. But hopefully the music takes off, and honestly, it's just spreading the message while I'm on stage that life's too short not to enjoy every moment. How cheesy is that?
No, I know, but it is, so true.
Life's too short not to enjoy it, and just so people can come to my shows and escape their reality for a little bit, because that's what I'm doing up there as well.
And they can enjoy a cracking night out.
Exactly.
Well, listen, I'm going to come to your next one.
Oh, amazing.
I think you are totally amazing.
Thank you. Right back at you.
You're doing a brilliant, brilliant thing, and it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully I'll be interviewing you on STV soon with your
very soon
number one single and all that.
That's it. Let's manifest it.
We're going to make it happen. Roisin, thank you, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, if you or someone you know is affected by cancer and needs support or information, then head to beatsoncancercharity.org.